The URC's biggest rivalry is back. Munster versus Leinster this Friday night in Thomond Park. Leinster have the chance to cause some humiliation, while Munster have a shot at redemption. There have been so many world-class players to take part in this fixture over the years. In today's video, we take a look at the best of the best and build our combined Munster-Leinster 15 of all time. Let's get stuck in. Now, we've chosen players from the professional era going forward. We've also covered the Munster versus Leinster combined 15 for current players earlier this season. I'll leave a link in the description. But we're going to change things up here. Instead of doing a head-to-head for every position, I'm just going to show you the team and talk through the choices. Be sure and let us know which style of video you prefer. Kicking things off is the front row of Cian Healy, Keith Wood and John Hayes. Healy is Ireland's most capped player in history, for good reason. He took what it means to be a prop to a whole new level with his mobility, while remaining an ultra-physical, strong scrummager. Keith Wood won the first ever IRB award in 2001. He was light years ahead of his time, offering dynamic carries, unreal hands and phenomenal support lines well before any other hooker in world rugby. We went with John Hayes at tight head. He is the epitome of a prop forward. He wasn't the most mobile, but by God was he an elite at everything he did. Scrummaging, tight carries, ruck play. The man was a fridge. There was no moving him. With over 200 appearances for Munster, 2 Lions tours and 2 Champions Cups, he just edges out Tadhg Furlong for us. In the second row, we've gone for one of the best second row partnerships in history. Paul O'Connell and Donncha O'Callaghan. O'Connell was the leader in every aspect of his game. Orchestrator of the line-out, underrated ball carrier, and elite work rate in defence. O'Callaghan was the workhorse. He did the dirty stuff, clearing the rucks, always on the hip of the ball carrier, and elite in the line-out as well. The pair complemented each other excellently. In the back row, we've gone for Peter O'Mahony, Sean O'Brien and Anthony Foley. At blindside, O'Mahony has been seriously underappreciated in my opinion. He is the embodiment of the Munster spirit that O'Connell made famous. Never takes a step back, unbreakable mentality, phenomenal in the line-out, world-class work rate, I can go on and on. At open side, we went for Sean O'Brien. In my opinion, he had one of the highest ceilings of any Irish rugby player in history. While Josh van der Flier has an elite work rate, O'Brien not only had that, but what sets him apart was his physicality. His eyes lit up when he had the ball in hand, and you just knew he was bouncing someone. At number 8, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Axel Foley. He set the standard for Irish back rowers for years to come, constantly playing on the fringe of the law, looking to poach the ball at every opportunity, an absolute nuisance for the opposition, a truly world-class talent in every aspect of his game. And that makes up our pack. What do you think? Did we get it right? Moving on to the backs. At scrum half, we've gone for Peter Stringer. I was lucky enough to be at the 2006 Champions Cup final in the Millennium Stadium. I will never forget his try. A moment burnt into my memory forever. And that's what sport is about. He was the epitome of a sniping scrum half. A Jack Russell, constantly in your face and commanding the pack around. At out half, we have Ronan O'Gara. Bear with me. Johnny Sexton was a phenomenal player, but he had talent around him that O'Gara didn't. Raj was the trailblazer. He was acknowledged with an award in 2010 for the best European player in the previous 15 years. Let that sink in for a minute. His game management was elite, world class off the tee, and if the 50-22 was around in his day, he could put the ball in a sixpence, and there wasn't a thing you could do about it. Raj set the standard for what it means to be an Irish out-half. Without him, there would be no Sexton. It's time to start putting some respect on his name. Anyway, appeasing our Leinster fans in the centres, we have Gordon Darcy and Brian O'Driscoll. Very similar to Paul O'Connell and Donnacha O'Callaghan, these two complemented each other excellently. Both solid as a brick wall in defence. Darcy would run the hard lines and do the dirty work. And as for Bod, what can I say that hasn't already been said? He's the greatest player in Irish rugby history. Phenomenally elusive, creative beyond all means, an absolute machine. For the back three, we've gone for Doug Howlett, Keith Earls and Hugo Keenan. Howlett was one of the greatest wingers the game has ever seen. Pace to burn, safe as houses under the high ball, but above all else, he was clinical beyond belief. And to top it all off, from day one, he bought into the Munster way of life and proved himself a club legend. On the other wing, in my opinion, the best Irish winger in history, Keith Earls. He had a turn of pace that had to be seen to be believed. His ability to step off either foot was amazing. He was throwing jinks and sidesteps well before it was popular and deserves his place on this list. Finally, another great, the best fullback in Irish history, Hugo Keenan. By God, does Keenan know how to hit the back line at pace. He took what Rob Kearney had in stability under the high ball, solid kicking, etc., and added supreme pace and attacking lines. That makes up our combined 15. Now I know we'll differ in opinion in many places. The reality of the situation is that there has been so many phenomenal players that represent these two clubs. This Friday night is going to be another twist in the Munster-Leinster saga, and I can't wait for it. Let us know who you think is going to win the match and who you'd have in your best ever combined 15. Cheers for watching, catch you at the next one.